you and, then just dive in, and I know there'll be some questions too.
Well, basically, I've been working at the business. The years and months aren't exactly present. I guess my wife and I got involved in this together. We're really excited about doing that. I had joined first. I had seen Beachbody as an opportunity, and then kind of let the business kind of lay there for quite a while. It struck my wife as something that she wanted to do, and we kind of got our hooks into it, and we've been trying to get this up and running ever since. So we're both Emerald coaches, so we're still green, but we're getting there, and we've got motivation and whatnot. So basically, I guess in terms of being a guy coach or being approachable as what you might want, guys are they're a little tough nut, because it's funny that you say that they scare you, because most guys, we're going to speak in generalities tonight, but most guys are afraid of women, afraid to show weakness. It's basically the machismo factor. So I understand that coming from a female coach trying to get male clients, at times they can be a little bit, they're going to be a little quieter. They're going to be a little less, not that they're less needy, but they're going to be less vocal about their needs or their specific. So it's going to take a little bit more inquisitive and understanding. Generally, praise goes a long way. So it's kind of silly when you think about it that we're just a bunch of big babies, really. We just need to be told that we're being a good dog, or that we're doing really well at anything. Anything that any connectivity that you may have to one of your male friends, or somebody you think that might, a coworker or what have you. If you see them out there in the interwebs or the stratosphere, most guys are they're going to be a little touchy about their fitness. I mean, trying to poke them hard about, hey, looking a little doughy there, buddy. Coming from a girl or a woman, basically, it's going to be, it may or may not, depending on the guy, but generally speaking, he's going to be. But if he's accomplished a goal on Facebook, or if you know somebody who's just done something, try to kind of turn it into an opportunity to build them up. And then, anytime you see a guy accomplishing anything, it's almost no different than a woman. If you see a guy accomplishing things, just say, hey, you're doing a great job, and and go from there. Start to take your steps into that general direction. I was approaching this as I was thinking I was talking to other male coaches. So most of my notes are, you probably all know coaches like Scotty Hobbs and Caleb Thomas and Coach Jimmy, and they're just real honest guys that I watch, that I see. But I know it's as far as coming in contact with other people, it's more or less when you've begun something. Hey, what are you doing? I'm doing this. Cool. I've got a guy right now that I'm talking to just personally, guy to guy. He's hardly ever said anything to me on Facebook. So we're kind of watchers. If they're not creeping out, they're going to be watchers. They're watching you. And basically, he said, I don't know what you're doing, but you're doing something and it's showing, and I gotta get dialed into something. So they're going to be a little bit more frank. They're going to be a little bit more direct. They're going to be a little bit more honest when they really want it. Generally speaking, they're not really going to be wishy-washy about it. I want it one day and not so much the next. Once they've committed, usually, again, generalities, usually they're going to want to run. And, the best support and attaboys and good dogs and all that you can throw their way, will just keep them more motivated, because they're going to be frustrated. I've been frustrated myself with plateaus and things like that. So, I could probably be better taking questions than really coming. This is my first time talking on a video, so excuse the kind of sporadic.
No, you're fine.
Approach.
I know one question that one of my coaches had. Her fiance is an active member with her, like building his business similar to what you're doing. And I know she had a question more like for recruiting for him. What's the best way to recruit for his team, for coaches? And Nikki, you can jump in on this if you want more specifics on that question.
Well, I mean, just in general, there's not a ton of difference in terms of who you're going to talk to. If we're talking about a guy seeking another guy, just basically attracting another. It's easy for guys to check guys. It's kind of generality, so don't take any offense here, but girls can, not Beachbody girls, but girls can be nasty to girls when it comes to physical fitness. They'll put down, or it'll be a quick and easy, low-hanging fruit dig, where guys they're super easy to check each other in a it's not goading, it's not meant to be demeaning. It's a, hey, you said you were gonna, how's that going, pal? Or, dude, you're looking great, or you're killing this thing. So how you approach, or how you interact, or how you talk to guys is you got to be as frank and as short. I mean, it's a lot of dudes, and it's a lot of bros, and it's a lot of those sorts of things where generally guys are not going to be into the frilly stuff about it, about the business, about working out. They want to know it works, basically. What are you doing? Well, I'm doing this, and it's working. And that's guys talking to guys. Girls, it is, there's female trainers and there's male trainers training guys and training girls. So it's really just keeping it real and keeping it simple. They don't necessarily, guys, I mean, we don't prescribe to any, fluff. Get to the meat of it already. That's kind of my take on that. I mean, feel free to help me elaborate better.
So my main question was kind of, he's a little trepidatious, I guess, about being on Facebook and really posting kind of the way that females post on Facebook as far as Beachbody coaches go. So I kind of was wondering if it's easier for you to be more face-to-face, or if you use Facebook, kind of how that goes for you.
Well, I predominantly use, I mean, I do have interactions where I do face-to-face stuff, but Facebook is pretty cool. You can of course, dial it back. You don't have to have, don't have to be with Shakeology cups blinging and, going real, it's one of those things where I post on Facebook a lot. I use it a lot. And I show people, I just have a simple phone app that changes the color of the photo, and I throw a motivational quote, or I say something, burpees hate you too, that sort of thing, and I just keep doing it. And I have, male friends and guys everywhere saying, dude, I don't know what you're doing, but it's working for you, and keep it up. And so as far as him being trepidatious or being concerned, he definitely, and I don't know if he definitely needs to dial into somebody like Trey Bauer, or Bearer is his name. He's a real guy's guy. He and I was just watching something about him talking about guy coaches, and he was like, I'm not doing all the selfies, and I'm not doing all the this and that and the other thing. Whereas now he's very visual. He's very I don't know if he's got a marketing degree about him, but he does a really good job, and he's just a dude. He's, cusses through it. It can be unsavory at times for some people, and it can be, and he's funny, and it's not, you don't want to necessarily be him in everything, but you can see, well, this guy's he's not the prototypical, Janelle Summers posting, pretty recipes or things like that. Not to say he won't show you his food, but it's done real stripped down, real bare. I mean, his production value and his videos are good, but he would be somebody if he's the slightest bit concerned about being less than manly, definitely check that guy out. But even Scotty Hobbs, I mean, he's great. He gives a lot of really good messages. His is a little bit more reserved at times. I mean, it's certainly not as outlandish as Trey. I really like those guys. And Caleb Thomas, he's just a goof. He's funny. So his niche is, I'm funny, and I'm going to make you laugh. And if that's your personality, if that's your, did you say fiance? If that's his thing, then be more of it. Be as much of it as you can. But in terms of, your results, if he's lost a bunch of weight, put it on Facebook. Say, I lost a bunch of weight. It's scary. Right. It is scary, especially for a dude to go out there and be naked, metaphorically, obviously, and say, I lost a bunch of weight and I'm happy,
Right.
Because there's girls out there going to see him say that,
right. Definitely. Okay.
So
thank you.
Those sorts of things, there are mentors and there are people out there that do this job and be guys. And Scotty says there's no difference. You just got to be a little bit more tactful. Like when I'm when I'm going to friend somebody that I'm friends through somebody, I find somebody on Facebook, they show up in my news feed, and she's a girl. So I got to try to be their friend. And I just friend them. But I know on my Facebook wall, who I'm about, because generally, girls are going to stalk you. They're going to say, who is this dude? And why does he want to know me? And she'll take a look at the top of your page. And if you're a creep, you got obnoxious things, she's not going to go for it. But you can't say, hey, you keep showing up in my news feed and not expect for them to be like, okay, bye. You just got to kind of let your Facebook page lead by your example. Show them you're a gentleman. Talk about the women in your life, that sort of thing. That's what I would advise him. Get him the call so that you can see these things firsthand. It's weird because I haven't seen a lot of guys myself. We're kind of we're a rare breed out there, where an actual in one of these meetings see another guy sort of thing.
Right. And he went to Dallas for the men's retreat thing with Coach Jimmy and all of that. I mean, so he does follow, a lot of the coaches. I think he has a hard time. I mean, he has a very funny personality and he does well with posts like that, but he hasn't exactly expanded his, friend list or anything like that. And he kind of, I don't know, I think he just kind of gets caught up and overthinks it too much. So I just kind of wondered, if it was easier face to face or, whatever with that.
Yeah, I would say it depends on the individual. If you're a people person and you're a face to face kind of guy, and you go to a networking thing where you're just kind of talking, you're going to pick up on different things. But
right.
All of these things, you know as well as I do, that everything we go to do is hard until we get used to doing it. Riding a bike was hard until we learned to ride a bike. So that's the kind of things. I don't post enough. I probably don't post enough. I probably should post more to make my presence more well known. But generally speaking, you're going to have to go and say, I'm going to put myself out there repeatedly, and make it a challenge to himself for 30 days in a row. I'm going to post a selfie of doing something, of eating something, of, just say, it doesn't matter. You're not going to lose your business if you go out there and you make a bunch of, crummy things right off the beginning. You just have to do it. You have to go through that growing phase. And that, that's what he needs to understand and embrace. It's a growing process. It's a learning process, and it's a comfort level process. It's foreign. It's foreign to me. I'm a graphic designer by trade, so I'm behind pretty pictures. I'm not the guy talking. I'm only 5'4", so I'm a little guy. So, I'm not used to standing in the front of the crowd. I guess unless we're taking pictures and I have to. But just kind of reassure him that it is growing, and he's not any different than the lady coaches that are trying to learn it. I can only imagine. I would love to have been able to go to see that thing in Dallas. It just couldn't put the ones and zeros together to get that to happen, but that would have been cool. So he's already showing that he's into this and he's down with it. So he's got one foot in it already. He just needs to let it fly.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Jack, do you feel, so what I'm hearing you say a lot is that progress photos are what's super important for men. Do you feel like if I'm posting progress photos, I mean, it's obviously of me, do you feel like men respond to stock photos, or do you feel like there's any type of branding that men really respond to?
I don't believe that they're going to react to. I mean, stock photos are kind of they're so cliche, and so you immediately look suspect if you're trying to utilize some Adonis in a picture to try to say this is. But if you're saying, this is effing hard, and let me tell you what, it kicked my butt. And guys they'll pay more attention to, I fit better in my new such and such than this. I've met Autumn. She's 100 pounds soaking wet, and she's about 5 feet tall. This little tiny thing beat the hell out of me. And they go, really? Cool. What's that about? So I think that if you can. You gotta. It's so general, you gotta rough it up. You gotta make it. You gotta make it a challenge. You gotta make it, a hill to climb. And say, and all the while, I mean, the motivational quotes. Those things are great for a lot of guys. I like them. There are a lot of people who scroll right past them, don't think anything of them, and it could be, the words they need to hear. But sometimes it's, when Muhammad Ali died, you might say something about him, bring it, something he's going to be dialed into every once in a while. Pretty Pinterest photos of your food is great, but generally most guys are going to go, okay. What was the score of the Tigers game? So make it a competition, make it fun, make it hard, make it dirty, in the clean sense, but that sort of thing. Grit for the most part.
Great. Does anybody else have any questions? Megan, I know you work with men, and this was specifically your topic you asked about. Don't you try to hide back there.
I had a quick one, I guess. I guess as you're a guy, how's the best way, I guess, to approach men about like groups and stuff? Because I have one guy that's been in my groups for ever, and he loves the products, but every time I'm like, well, you should just sign up as the coach for the discount, and then you save on your products. He's like, oh, I made this winner, but right now I just don't want to. And it's just like, why would you not want to? This is silly, but it's frustrating, but whatever. I'm not going to push it because guys are very different than women.
Yeah.
They don't really respond to being like pushy or whatever. But like, approaching guys like even about challenge groups, because usually they're going to be the only guy or the only few guys in there or whatever. And sometimes they're really active and sometimes they're not. Like my boyfriend's in my groups with me, but he hasn't really been working out, so he doesn't really do anything. And my other guy is like super busy, so he checks in maybe once a week, which is fine because I know he's still doing his stuff. But like, how do you, I guess, talk to a guy about like joining a challenge group where he's going to be the only guy and not be like, well, you get to see a bunch of chicks in there, you know, sweaty selfies and their food and all that.
You know, I mean, that's a great question. And, you know, the guy that's hedging his bets on becoming the coach, you know, I don't know what this guy does, but, you know, is there a, hey, let's look at the apples to oranges comparison that, you know, you don't want to, you know, you got so much money that you don't need a discount. Is that what you're telling me?
Right.
So things like that. I don't think it, you know, you're not going to scare him away. You know, if he loves the products and all that jazz, and he just, you know, he is, you know, concerned that in some way you're going to reform him into a fully active coach.
Right.
It may likely happen anyway, but for you to say, you know, it's a simple math thing. You know, are you an engineer? Can't you figure this out? Yeah. That's the thing. And
that's kind of the company.
And feel free to just check him on it and keep checking him on it, because he's just like anybody else. He's just like anybody else. He's not going to run away. And if you can show the value, if you can find that ring where it's, hey, it's value, or the first time he has a friend asking him what he's doing, and you say, well, Joe, it wants to buy a product and he could buy it from you, and you could get a bigger discount on your Shakeology next month. It's not that you have to work a business. You just get a bigger discount. You know?
Right.
And oops, you showed it to 3 people and you got it for free. Just saying that you don't have that ability if you don't become this coach. If you don't do this part, you don't accidentally get it for free.
Right.
So, I mean, there's all kinds of ways, you know, that's men, women, anyway. In terms of, I think that we have probably out there success stories from other men in other challenge groups. You know, Team Beachbody has to have them. And you just start promoting it, you know, this guy lost X amount of weight, you know. And then you be frank with them. Say, there's going to be a lot of girls in this group. Truth be told, we girls want to lose weight more than you men. You know, just make it into something like that. And most guys they're going to be okay with it. But guys, myself included, we do get a little consumed with other things. We're less prone to check in. I have hot and cold periods where I'm more checking in, less checking in, you know, but keep it fun, keep it a challenge, keep things, and then call them out, you know, keep calling them out. I'm sure that's what you're doing, but hey, Brian, you know, where you been? It's like crickets over here, you know.
Okay.
Everybody else is manning up. Where are you? You know, and if, you know, what are you going to do? You're going to scare him away and he's not going to do another one? You know, chances are, I mean, you're just trying to stoke a fire, and he's, you know, it's one of those things where I just think that, you know, men, women, that sort of thing, there's no magic pill to make them post any more than anybody else. Now, show me the ugliest, challenge them to show me an ugly bumper sticker, or check in with something unrelated to the group every once in a while, might get, hey, this posting thing isn't so bad. You know, maybe do something like that, you know.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
I don't really have a question, but I was going to say along the lines of that you're not going to scare them away. I think that really does work. I had sent out an email to some guys that I work with trying to get them involved in my challenge group. And he didn't write me back personally, but I was walking down the hallway past him. He goes, "What, are you calling me fat?" And I'm like, well, if the shoe fits. And we haven't really talked about it since I sent out the email. I told him, haven't heard back from anyone. I sent out another email later and didn't really hear anything. And today he's like, oh, so how's that going? I was going to do it, but then some stuff came up and I'm, living in my camper right now. So I don't have a space that I can do it right now. And so I haven't talked to him about it in over a week, and he actually brought it up again to me. So definitely
he sounds just like your girl clients.
Yep. The being harsh and
still watching. Yeah, he's still there. He's still watching. You stay you and you stay true. And he eventually is going to say, you know what? I can't hold back anymore. I'm going to have to do it. It's been, you'll have a couple of months. He's talked to somebody. And then 2 months down, like this guy, 2 months down the road, he's like, hey, what was that 21-day thing you were doing again? Because he's going to have seen your face or, your shake or whatever.
Exactly.
Over and over and over again. I mean, if he's in social media, if he's one of the people you see, you're just going to, I signed the coach by carrying my Shakeology cup into work. So I had it in my hand and they asked what it was. So, carry it around, strut. That's basically all you can do. If you come in contact with somebody and you're carrying it in your hand, and every time they see you carrying it in your hand, or, you walk past them and I forgot my, and you have to go back and get it, make a big deal out of it, draw attention to it.
Yep.
Yeah. Basically, you're doing the right thing by
the results pictures work really well too. I just shared one the other day, and it's amazing how many of the guys that I work with. I work in a shop full of mechanics, so I'm friends with most of them on Facebook too. I've been there for 10 years. It's amazing how many of them went and liked my results picture just from doing the 21-day fix.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like they see me every day and they don't notice at work because I have to wear this ugly blue smock pretty much to work every day. So they don't really notice, but when they see it on Facebook, they're like, oh, hey, you're doing a great job. And I might have to start doing that too, because I need to start doing something.
Yeah. And again, generally speaking, ladies, don't take it personally, but a girl who loses 10 pounds can be a bitch to some girls. Where if a girl loses 10 pounds, the dude is going to say, sweet, way to go, you're rocking it. Almost invariably, it's, again, general. I got to put disclaimers on everything I say. But they're going to pick you up. They're going to say, that's cool. Dig it. Keep going. That sort of thing. So it's good that they're reacting to your post as well. And every little teeny tiny piece of any male doing anything, make sure you sing it from the rooftops that, Steve is killing his 21-day fix. And as soon as they see breed men's names in your post, they're going to be like, oh, dudes are doing this? This isn't just for girls. Okay, cool. So now I'm more interested. And they're just going to take another half-inch step closer.
Perfect. Does anybody have any other questions? We got about 8 minutes. No. Okay. Jack, thank you so much. I got a lot of information, actually. Your call was super helpful. It helps me
a little different.
No, I think it was really good to know. I think sometimes as a woman, especially when you're talking to another woman, you have to fluff things sometimes. You have to just kind of go gentle with it with some people, which is not always my strong suit, I'll be honest. But I think actually your talk tonight just gave me a lot more confidence to kind of go for it. So Thank you so much. We really appreciate you hopping on our call. I do have this recording, so I will get you this recording so that you have it too if you want to share it with anybody. But thank you so much, Jack. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, you guys.
Yeah, everybody have a great night. Thanks for hopping on. I appreciate it. Bye.